Hey y'all, hey, it's me, V, the CV Scholar. Happy Friday. I just wanted to jump on here real quick because I actually sat down and watched the final season of You. So, just to put it out there, I was a big fan of You, especially seasons 1 and 2. I think 2 is when Love came, but if it's not, season 3 is included. Then, like they did Tales from the Crypt, which is one of my favorite shows ever. They took it to London, and it turned into complete garbage. So I said, even though shout out to Tales from the Crypt, I guess the monkey's paw episode was cool, and the one where people were switching out their body parts for animal parts and stuff. Okay, I think that was pretty cool. But baby, when I say You in the British United Kingdom was trash, I mean that from the bottom of my spirit. I had to put something in the oven real quick. Anyways, so like I said, I watched You. I said, let me sit down and watch season 5. It's the final season. And I was like, let me see what this is about. So, if you don't know what You is, it's this dude who basically uses social media to hunt down, stalk, I hope I don't get in trouble for that word, watch people, and ends up taking everybody out around a woman to prove his love. So season 1, he was after Guinevere Beck. And then season 2, he got rid of Guinevere Beck. Then he was with Love. I know that we have a whole nother love story in there too. Basically, he's going along ruining people's lives, but he thinks that he's saving them because he's taking out the people who are bothering them. So at the end of the season with Love, they had a baby, which I thought that season was amazing because he fought to get love, and once he had it, he didn't want it. That's what happens to a lot of people. So we're fast forward to season 5. Apparently, he fell in love with a very well-off British woman who was just as vicious as him, but she did it more in a corporate way. So they both have secrets on each other because he took out her daddy so that she could take over the business. So season 5, you rolling in the son Henry, who was living with the two dudes that he ended up with after the mother got taken out and Joe had to go on a run. And we have Henry, he going to school, he acting up. I'm thinking he's gonna be like his dad. You have his sister-in-laws who are 2 twins. And do you know I did not recognize that lady from True Blood? But you have the lady playing 2 twins. Shout out to Sinners. And one is real cutthroat. The other one is real calm and nice. But then you find out she's cutthroat too because she's smashing her sister's husband. Spoiler. Then you see Joe, who gets tired of the woman that he's with, but they both have secrets on each other. You see him basically fall in love with a lady he catches in that bookstore, Mooney's, that he got raised in and he was taking people out in. And she says her name is Bronte, like Emily Bronte. Turned out she really some chick named Louise from Ohio. And she was a Redditor who's been on after Joe, trying to make sure that she avenges Beck. And the other people that she's with are actually trying to avenge. There's the son of Dr. Nikki, who went to jail for taking out Guinevere Beck. But check it out for yourself. It's a whole lot. What I wanted to get on here and say is that Bronte's ending was a whole lot better off than old girl from White Lotus. So I don't know how I feel about that. Because her and the wife, it was like they should have been the Avengers. They were getting bopped in the head. They were getting kicked in the chest. They were getting hit with tools, all types of stuff, and they were bouncing back. In the end of the show, they're out there at Camp Crystal Lake, because that's what it looks like, because Joe thinks he's taking out his wife, but he has to go on a run, and he still want to talk to his son. And Bronte, who got him off the last time because she actually fell in love with him and he fell in love with her and he was taking people out for her. decides that she doesn't believe that he actually loves her because another girl he messed over gave her a whole big long speech on how she was brainwashed and how dudes could brainwash you into enabling whatever foolishness they're on. In this case, Joe taking out people. He's a serial unaliver. So if you don't know, spoiler alert, chick from White Lotus had a bad dude who was unhinged, crazy, and like a Shakespeare tragedy, she lost her life trying to get this man to change. Bronte figured out that the man was messed up, and she went and took him on and ended up winning. I'm not going to say how. But something about it was good. I started watching it. The first 3 episodes, I was like, okay, I don't know if I can get through this. Is this Britain again? Because it was all about them fighting over who's going to take over the company, who's going to keep Henry. There's all these sideline things that I didn't care nothing about, except for the part where when Bronte gets outed for helping Joe, the Manosphere sees her, blames her, because Joe took out the dude who wanted to avenge his father, because he thought he was attacking Bronte, and the Manosphere jumped in, and one of the dudes tried to kidnap Bronte because they were like, it's always a woman sicking on a man, on another man, and mess. Because guess what? Joe's skill is to mind F you into making himself the victim. But I got a kick out of it because you know how the Menendez brothers had people that want to marry them and chasing them down and stalking them. And these people who are serial unalivers always have fans that go to try to marry them in jail. The same thing would have happened with Joe. Except while they were apprehending Joe, he freed Willie. It came out. And it was supposedly Micro Manny. Nobody shaming here as Micro Manny. But they were believing him and empathizing with him. But once they figured out he had a Vienna sausage, it was off with his head. It was bad. But if you haven't checked out the final season, see if you like how it played out. Because for me, they wrapped everything up in a nice little bow, which I kind of like when shows do that. But I'm not sure I'm feeling how they wrapped it up. Because there was a lot of commentary on society and how we have true crime Reddits and people feed into true crime. Like I said, how you have the manosphere, how you have toxic femininity. All these things played into how Joe is finally able to see himself for who he really is. And did he accept it? I don't think so, because chicks were still writing him in jail, trying to get down with him. So let me know if you watched You. I enjoyed it, especially after episode 3. I think there's like 9 episodes, if not 10. But I was able to sit through the entire thing. Probably I did it over 2 days. So check it out for yourself. I don't know if I'm going to do a deep dive on it. I still owe you guys a deep dive on the final episode of White Lotus. I will definitely do that. Let me know what you thought. All right. Bye, y'all.